All right, it is a busy and exciting stretch for Canadian golf and the Vancouver Golf Tour, which recently hosted the BC Women's Open. Joining us now is VGT President Fraser Mulholland, who continues to help create playing opportunities and grow the game across the province. Good morning, Fraser.
Good morning, Asa. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Doing well, thanks, and always excited to chat with you. Just a couple of days ago, Shelley Stauffer made headlines once again, winning her 6th straight BC Women's Senior title up in Whistler. What can you say about the consistency and excellence she continues to show?
It's really unbelievable. Huge shout out to Shelley Stauffer, former UBC standout player. Six straight championships for the BC Seniors. But I look back at the last 3 or 4 years that Shelley's career, 2021 and 22 Canadian senior champion and Canadian mid-amateur champion. And she went on in 22 to go on to win the U.S. Senior Women's Championship. And last year she was the runner-up in the same event. She's having an incredible run in sort of the twilight of her career. It's outstanding to see, and we're cheering her on, obviously, to great things again this year. So congrats again to Shelley for some great golf at the BC Women's Senior Championship.
That's awesome. Yeah, we've got several BC players teeing it up at the Glencoe Invitational in Calgary this weekend. Who are some of the names to watch there, and what does that mean for elite amateurs looking to take the next step?
Well, it's both a male and a women's event, male and female event. So on the women's side, no surprise, Vanessa Zhang, 18-year-old amateur player playing for Team Canada. He is heading the field at 4 under par. She shot the course record up at Nicholas North last week, shooting 64, 8 under par. She's close behind by a couple of Team Canada members, Ellie Vorster, formerly Ellie Zurich, who was our BC Women's Open champion last year. And she's tied with Katie Cranston from Oakville, Ontario, who was last week's runner-up at the BC Women's Open. Now, on the men's side, an accomplished PGA Tour Americas player, Brendan McDougall, local player out of Glencoe, heads the way for the men's side at 8 under par. And our top BC players, Chris Crisologo from Marine Drive, 3 shots back at 5 under. Jivan Sahota, who we've talked about lots this year, with 6 wins out of 8 tournaments on the VGT, 85 under. So he's 4 under par, 4 shots back. And then a couple other BC players, Lauren Rowe, from Squamish, and Ilrian Zali, who was our top player on the VGT last year. So it's going to be a final rounds today out at the Glencoe Golf Club out in Calgary. Beautiful golf course. The players are loving it, and hats off to their team, their staff for putting on an exceptional event. The top female player from this event will get the CPKC Women's Open exemption later on this August in Mississauga.
That's great. Last question, quick one. Zooming out to the U.S. Open, it's great to see all 4 Canadians make the cut. How much inspiration does that provide to players on your tour?
Unbelievable. You look at, particularly in BC for Nick Taylor, who is sitting in a tie for 23rd at 4 over par. He's 7 shots back. He's had an incredible year winning the Sony Open in January. He's followed up with a really good stretch the last couple of weeks. Out of Jack Nicklaus's event, the Memorial. He was a top 5 finish there. And he was 1 hole away from another top 5 at the Canadian Open last week. He made a double on his second last hole, came 12th in that event. He's looking great. But there's 3 other Canadians in the mix, made the cut. I think that's great to see. I just look back to the women that are doing so well on the amateur side for Team Canada. And you look at Corey Connors, Mackenzie Hughes, Nick Taylor, all Canadian team members for Team Canada. I think a lot of young players will be looking up to them this weekend. It's going to be a tough test, but I look forward to seeing the Canadians shine this weekend.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Fraser.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Asa.